Welcome to Class C by Mavi. In today's video, we'll be learning this beautiful sleeve style. Okay, now here is the base, the foundation of the sleeve. It's your basic sleeve pattern because in my own sleeve, I'll be using this beautiful net. Okay, you can see it on the screen. So I've cut this out on a normal basic sleeve. Okay, so I have my basic sleeve as a foundation for this sleeve, so I'll be keeping it aside. Then to create the cones you see on the sleeve, I'll be using this fabric. Okay, so I'll be using this to demonstrate what I'll be doing all through. So now what I'll simply do, I'll fold it into two like this. Okay, I'll fold it into two. Then I will insert my measurements. So I'll be measuring 6 inches down. Okay, just watch what I'm doing. I measure 6 inches down here and mark, and also on this end I measure 6 inches and mark. You can do 5, you can do less than that, depends on what you want to achieve. So I'm doing 6, but I'll be having 5 inches because I'll use half an inch for the down part and then half an inch for the upper part. Okay, so I'm continuing to measure. I'm still measuring this 6 inches here. I'll gradually take it all around. I'm marking. After about 1 inch difference, I mark again, just like that. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay. Okay, so that is it. I hope you can see clearly. So I'm now linking all the points I marked earlier. And now I have linked and I will cut out. So I've also cut it out. Okay, let me trim the fraying edges of the fabric. And here I've cut it out. So if I open it up, this is what I'm having. Okay, now I'll be cutting out the lining of this. I'll be using a black lining, so I'll cut out a lining exactly like this. And here I've also cut out the black lining. Can you see? So the next thing I want to do, I'll be fusing a collar stay into the main fabric. And here I'm also done fusing the collar stay into the main fabric. You can use a hard gum stay, whichever interfacing that is stiff and hard enough you can use, but for me I'm using a collar stay for this tutorial. Okay, so I've fused it. The next thing I want to do, I'll go over to my machine and stitch the fabric and lining together on this point. Okay, on the curved area I'll be stitching it together using half an inch of allowance. Okay, and now I'm also done stitching. Can you see? So I've stitched round using my machine. So what I'll do, I'll trim this off, the excess allowance. So I've trimmed off the excess allowance, and after trimming it off, you can also go ahead and clip very close, okay, to the stitch. Clip very closely to the stitches. I'm also done doing that, so the next thing I have to do is to flip this over. So let's gently flip it over and see what we are having. So can you see what we have now? Now I'll go over to my ironing table and press it nicely. So here I'm also done ironing. Can you see how smooth and nice it is now? So the next thing I want to do, I'll fold it over like this and then stitch on the right side. Okay, not on the wrong side. Okay, I'm not going to do it like this and stitch here. Okay, so I'm stitching here. At the end of the day, you know the reason why. So I'll go over to the machine and stitch with half an inch and then trim off excess. So here I'm done stitching. Can you see? I'm done stitching. So I'll now trim off the excess allowance, and that's all for our cone. I'll follow this exact procedure and create 10 cones for both sleeves. Okay, So 5 on each sleeve. So I will now get our sleeve, the sleeve pattern, okay, and place it on the right side. On the right side, look at the midpoints I notched. So I know the midpoints of my sleeve, so you should do well to notch yours. Then I'll give a space of about 1 inch, and I place this. Now why I had to stitch on the side, because I'll be hiding these rough edges on this basic sleeve, okay? So this will be on the basic sleeve like this, okay? I'm leaving about 1 or 1.5 inches from the edge, and then I place it like this. But because this is a net, it's a little bit difficult to insert a line, so I'm using my eye measurements to know the straight line. But when you are doing yours, do well to insert a line, a straight line that you'll be placing the cones, so you don't get confused. I'll use my needle and thread, and then I pin this down. I tack this to the sleeve, okay? I'll be using my needle and thread to tack it. I'll tack it at this point, here and here, to make it stay firmly. And here also are the other 4 cones I'm having. Can you see? So after tacking, assuming we have tacked this one, I'll get the next one and place it like this, okay? Can you see? I'll just place it like this, and then tack down to the next one. I'll do the same thing. I place like this and tack down, following the same process. That's how I'll tack down all 5 cones to get my beautiful cone sleeve. So can you see what I'm having when I'm done tacking? Okay, can you see the fabric is soft, so it's not staying in place. So what I'll do now, I'll just go over to my machine and stitch the side of the sleeve, okay? I'll stitch like this down to the end, and then we see our final sleeve. And now here is the completed sleeve, okay? Look at the armhole area. Can you see? And this is the sleeve. Though the dress I'm making has not been completed, just check it out on me casually.